Let's welcome in Steve Valiquette. Busy guy, or maybe not so busy, with the New York Rangers sweeping Washington. How are you, pal?
Very good, boys. I just got off the ice. It never stops. I'm glad to be on with you guys.
All right, so we were just talking about, the reputation of the National Hockey League the last few years is the first round's the best, right? The closest, the tightest, players getting shot out of a cannon. What have you seen so far, including the Rangers sweeping Washington? I'm not sure that we're real surprised on that one, but certainly I think the Panthers dismantling the Lightning so quickly might be a surprise.
Yeah, to start with the Rangers, guys, the vibe is really high. The expectations are high. Everybody's trying to find the similarities between this year and 1994, Kyper. Yeah, look, there was a solar eclipse in 94, an earthquake. I think you guys have heard all this. A first-round sweep in 94, a President's Trophy in 94. Even this morning, I'm on the ice with some kids from Canterbury High School, and they're drawing the parallels because their last championship was in 94, and they won a championship this year. Everybody has a positive energy about the team, including O.J. Simpson.
I was going to say, you left out O.J. was in the news both years, too.
Yeah. So, and I'm telling you guys, like, it's a real thing. I mean, to compare it to what's going on in Toronto, where I can only imagine the temperature, is it on cremate today? For us, it is on cremate. Life. Like, we haven't had a bad day in a week, and everybody believes this is the year. So the excitement's at an all-time high.
Okay, so, like, what is it? Okay, because the feeling the last few years is you don't need a star goalie here and, just make the saves you're supposed to and don't put so much money back there. But sometimes it's worked for some teams and some it certainly hasn't in this first round.
Yeah, you know what, Kyper? I was just looking at this before we got on because you and I had a conversation recently about bad goals and how much it just cripples a hockey club. How about this stat from this year so far in the first round? There have been 14 bad goals. We saw one last night, Dandidov from the corner off of the helmet of Thompson. So that's a bad goal. Vegas loses. Only 3 wins of the 14 games where we've had a bad goal at one side and the other goalie doesn't allow one. Talbot won a game, Thompson won a game, his game 1, and Georgiev had a win. But it's losses for everybody else. That's why when that Frederick goal goes in game 3, I'm like, oh, you're done. It's a killer. Even though it's the first goal of the game, unless the other guy evens it up with a bad one, you're not going to win in the playoffs. The margins are too slim.
Valley,
and you're up against,
Like, how do you judge a bad goal? Like, sometimes people can watch and go, that's not a bad goal, and then you go, it's a bad goal, and then there's the fans that may be caught in between. Maybe they're not educated enough. What are the criterias for you as a bad goal? Is it first the angle? Is it second positioning of the goalie? Where do you start?
If all the goalies in the NHL are stopping at Kyper, and your goalie isn't, it's a bad goal. Imagine that there's 100 shots. This is a good example from a presentation I gave a few years ago to an NHL team. And they said, how would you rate this chance? It was a point shot, it was a deflection from the ice, and it went over the glove. And the coach said, we would call this a grade A. And I said, okay, I just want you to understand that I don't wake up in the morning and put my pants on and say, good goal, bad goal. That's not how we're doing this. Mm-hmm. But there have been 100 of those this year, and there have been 3 goals. That means everybody else is stopping it. And just because it looks like a good goal to you, if there's only 3 or 4 or 5 on every 100, it's a bad goal. And it's up to us as a company to track these events all the same way. They have rolling averages. The goal from Dandidov, that's an obvious bad goal. It's from the dead angle. You should be able to shoot that 100 times and score once. From that distance. It was more of a corner distance. So it's really about just doing the same thing over and over again, cataloging these events the same way.
Valley, one thing I know about keeping people's attention on the radio is don't talk about teams like Carolina or the Islanders, but I don't care. Tell me about the goaltending on Long Island. This is fascinating to you. The Varlamov goes in with, a month ago of the season or 3 weeks. He gets hot. Sorokin's supposed to be the guy. He loses when he goes in. They go back to Varley. They win again. What's happening in the Islanders' crease?
Well, to start with, I love Varley. I played with him, actually. And I will also contend that he wears 40 because of me. because he was my
Yeah.
backup at Yaroslavl in 2005. That's how far back we go. And I joke about that because he was 17 and you could already see how elite he was. But the story for Varley being able to play over Sorokin, I'm having a hard time with Sorokin, except when I do watch the goals, what I see is a goalie that's not tracking the pass. So what that means to us, I'm wearing a tracksuit. If I'm on the ice with a young kid, I would say to them, as soon as the puck gets across my zipper, my head is on the puck and I have to begin my movement. What Sorokin's doing, Borny, is he's just sitting in his stance and he's watching it go. And then he's getting there and he's late. And if you rewatch the goals for his last game before he got pulled, he was late on all three of them. And when you're late in this game in the playoffs, when you're facing the best shooters, you can't make up for that ground. Varley, he's played well. The one game they gave back when they were up by 3, he had a couple of bad goals in that game. That was on my list here for goalie performances that allowed bad goals that didn't win the game.
We're talking to Steve Valiquette, analyst for the New York Rangers on MSG and CEO of ClearSight Analytics. The Vezina favorite, Connor Hellebuyck. How do you explain this?
I spent a lot of time on him today, boy. He's faced 15 screens in the postseason. He's given up 6 goals. He's faced 9 east to west. This is actually, I don't know if you can, you can't see my screen anymore. 9 east to west. He's allowed 5 goals. So when you look at his overall game, you don't like it. However, do you remember when I was on with you guys a few weeks ago and I said the one thing about Winnipeg, I'm not sure about their defense. I didn't think they were big enough. Nobody's given up better quality scoring chances in the postseason than the Winnipeg Jets. They've been awful. They've been just awful. They're not even close. They're the 16th, but they're even like below 16th. If there was any chance I could put in a few more teams, they'd be in 20th.
Yeah.
Really been bad. They've been giving up a lot. They haven't made it easy on him. He hasn't been good, but you know, he's actually performing below average, below league average, but they're giving up a ton.
Yeah, it's tough to win when you're doing that. But, you know, some teams have won in light of not playing awesome. The Vancouver Canucks have not had many shots. They actually, I believe, set the record for the fewest shots over the first 4 games of a playoff series, and they're up 3-1. They have wins from Demko and Shilovs and DeSmith. What are your thoughts of their chances now relying on the third guy? I doubt you've seen him play much, as you think he only has 10 NHL games.
Do you guys remember 2 years ago when the Rangers went 7 games and Louis Domingue confessed that he had spicy pork and broccoli before he...
Yeah, I do. Yeah.
Right. So it went the distance, that series. And coincidentally, they went through Jari, then Casey DeSmith, who has a reputation for leaving.
Oh.
And sometimes guys have that. And now you're on your number 3. It didn't show up until game 6. Kreider, if you guys remember this shot, it was from the Trent Frederick spot. Yeah. The 625 shots and you only score 3 goals all regular season. That's how you define a bad goal. Well, he gave up that exact same shot. If you go back and watch the game 6 goal, and it was in overtime, and it was at his body, and he brought his blocker in, and it went off his blocker, it went over his head and in the net. So you don't know when it's going to happen, but the dam always breaks. There's such a difference between a number 1 and a number 3. And I can tell you that quite honestly, I was a number 3. You just met an expert.
The best number 3 of all time, as far as we're concerned.
There you go.
Valley, we saw 2 pretty darn good goalies in Florida. Vass and goalie Bob here. And I mean, for Bobrovsky now to come full circle from those first 3 or 4 years in Florida, where it was to the point where it's like you're untradeable to this. I mean, it's one of the better, I think, NHL goaltending stories in like recent memory for me.
It is. It's funny because I know I've talked on this show about expectations and how it can really change things for goalies. In those first couple of years, man, he was wearing that contract with every single shot. He was fighting the puck. It was weird to me too, because, Kyper, I shared with you how I look at the data. If I see that somebody's performing well below league average, I just go right to the video and I'm just figuring out why. Okay, what's the theme here? Well, Bobrovsky, before he signs the deal, he's one of the best goalies on breakaways. He's one of the best goalies east to west. And then all of a sudden, the following year, he's the worst. How can you explain that? And there was no decision-making problems. There was no depth problems or positioning issues or tracking. And it just seemed to me like he lost a little bit of the edge that he had, his intensity, his fight. Or it was too much and he wasn't able to stop the puck. I honestly, I know I've said this before, but it's hard to know exactly what's going on between the ears of the goalie, except for seeing the issues they have with early goals against in a game, or bad goals against in a game, or based on the score of the game, score tied up by one, down by one, who's allowing the most goals. And those to me are always psychological. You can at least have a pathway to an answer that way. But seeing somebody flip from that good to that bad, the extremes, saw it this year at the beginning of the year too, with a number of goalies, and Philip Gustafson comes to mind. The beginning of the season for Saros, and we saw it a little bit for the first half of the season with a lot of guys, and this was a strange year in net.
Well, there's another Canadian team to get to that we'll get to, but while you're talking about that Florida-Tampa Bay series, just Vasilevskiy, where do you have him in his career arc? He's had some work done now, right? He had hips done, was it? Or whatever
back,
the injury.
I think.
Yeah, he's hurt a little bit. Does he look like a different goalie this season to you after coming back?
All right, so hear me out on this. When you guys watch Vasi, and it's been well documented that he has issues from point shots with traffic, and if you look at his head, does it not look like this to you guys?
Yeah.
He's got it up. He's got it up. So because his head's so high, my hand right here just below my chin, I can't even see it. So you can imagine that he's got to just bring his head back down. He's got to degree his head back down so that he can see the scope of the ice better. And he won't come down to the ice like a ton of bricks and then spread his knees apart when there is a screen, a broken play, or a rebound, because he's having issue with all of that stuff around the net. And it's been in the postseason for the last 2 years. Early exits. Toronto, I think, had 6 or 7 point shots with broken plays and rebounds last year. And it's the same story again this year. And I think he's just got to change his posture. It would be a conversation where we're going to take your head, we're going to degree it down. That's going to help your posture come down. And now when you are looking over the screen, you'll have a better cone of vision and you will be able to get down to the ice better and you'll have a better seal.
It's looking like the Toronto Maple Leafs are going to ask Joseph Woll to save their season tonight in Boston. Just judging from our conversations, no real surprise on your part that Samsonov couldn't finish this series.
No, not at all. It's funny. I spent quite a bit of time on this because it's a fascinating story. And I think like the interesting thing about knowing your goaltenders, and during a season, it can happen where you can't properly identify them because even though they're on the same team, they can face a different array of quality chances. I've played on teams where you sometimes feel like you're at Christmas and you're saying, I feel like I've gotten every hard start. And this other guy that I'm playing with is getting every layup. And what I feel like with the way that Woll came back, you shouldn't go with him in those games against Boston and make an easier ride for Ilya Samsonov. And I can tell you right now, it's here in the data. If you want to look at the quality of chances faced for Samsonov versus Woll since they got back, it was 23rd. 23rd is Samsonov as far as the environment that he played in, the difficulty of the shots that he faced through the season. And it's 48th for Joseph Woll. He had a much more difficult season in net for the Toronto Maple Leafs. He had harder starts. So the conclusion that I came to, which I think is kind of fascinating, is we play better as a team in front of Samsonov, but the more consistent and better goalie is Joseph Woll. And that's where there was a bit of a conflict. And I think that if you're having a hard time reading the data that you do have on your goalies, it's hard for you to properly evaluate and measure the quality of the chances they're facing unless you're doing it the right way for the entire league so you have context. But you have to answer these questions. Who's had the tougher starts? Who's playing better? Who's more consistent? You know, one of our client teams asked me to build out a quality starts page. So I would look at this, and this was really indicative of not going with Samsonov at the beginning of the series. the positive game percentage, the games that he had a positive impact, positive performance, it was only 55% of the games that he played this year. Only Darcy Kemper was worse. So 18 out of his 40 starts this year were statistically considered bad. He had 11 blown games. He had 7 bad games. And conversely, Joseph Woll, he had a positive game percentage of 72%. 72% of the games he played, he had a positive impact in the game. He either played a great game, a quality game, or an average game. But he didn't have the bad games and the blown games like Samsonov had. And he had 3 stolen wins during the season to Samsonov's 1. Samsonov had 11 blown games, guys.
Yeah.
You can't go into the playoffs like that. That was, to me, negligence on the part of the decision makers on that one.
Where was this info 2 weeks ago?
Oh my gosh!
For us to get to the Toronto Maple Leafs, how have they not hired you?
I know. Hey man, I gotta tell you, I'm sorry, but I'm a pretty busy guy too. But
We really appreciate you coming on.
I can't do everybody's homework, boys.
I know, you're right. You're right. But I'm going to ask you to do one more homework on. I want to hear your thoughts on Frederik Andersen, because a lot of Leaf fans.
Do Skinner though before we go.
Okay, yeah, we're gonna get to Skinner too. But just Frederik Andersen, has he changed? Has he learned? Is he like Bobrovsky now turning a corner?
Is he rested? Was he ever rested as a Leaf? Did he ever go into the Leafs postseason rested? No. Guys, mismanagement of games played. That's where we're at right now in the NHL. It's been a very long time. I think we have one winner in the last 20 years that has played 60 or more games. Do you remember how much he was playing back in those days for the Leafs?
You're right.
Yeah.
You're right.
Like, come on. I always hated that. Because, guys, it's easy to see, too, because, all right, let's not even talk about statistics at all, but let's just talk about eyeballs. If I can't see a goalie beating a pass, getting to a complete stop, and then being able to make a save, and doing that over and over again over the course of a game, rather than getting wide and getting into the butterfly slide too soon because they're so wide and so committed to their stance because they're fatigued and they get wide early. Watch a goalie at the beginning of the season and see their feet, and there's tools, we use them at MSG, that you could measure the distance between Igor Shesterkin's inside left ankle to his right ankle at the beginning of the season when he is physically fit, versus when you feel like he's burning out like he did in January this year. He was almost a foot wider in his stance. So when the puck is being passed, I talked about the puck coming across my zipper. It's so much more difficult for me to get across. And now I've basically emptied all the gas out of my foot before I can even get across explosively in one piece. And you can see goalies with your computer, frame by frame, showing up later and later and later. And when they get behind like that, it's a losing proposition. The goalie's entire game is predicated on the harder and smarter I work before the shot, the easier the shot's going to be. And I physically have to be able to do that. It's a big component of this thing. It's not just technique.
Wow. I mean, this is all great stuff. And last one before, I leave you alone anyway.
I'll leave you alone too.
It's just Stu Skinner. You know, we're in our national hour here in Canada. He's he's faced 60 shots in the last 2 games and only given up 1 goal. Has it looked better?
Yeah, just one thing too. He lost game 2, and I loved his demeanor because he didn't get rattled at all for a guy who's supposed to be so inexperienced at this.
I agree with you, and I heard your comments on that, and I agree with you. Has not allowed a bad goal, so you can start there. He's been very solid. There's been a couple of games where LA just didn't create a whole lot, and it's not going to be that easy to get through Edmonton unless you get a lot. He's also, one thing I can say about Skinner, very good off the rush. He's got a good rush save percentage. So I think the next opponent, it's going to be a different series. Like for me, this first round series for a lot of these teams, for a lot of these goalies, it hasn't been a massive test. Not every series has been as quality as Dallas Vegas. We've seen quite a few sleepers here, guys, and there's been a little bit of a low event thing happening here. But I can tell you, as far as trends, because I'm following the goal trends as they happen, there have been 31 goals in the playoffs this year. This might surprise you. It's low east to west, below the hash marks, from one side of the ice to the other. That's been the goal that's gone in more than any other. And then it's broken plays from the point. We see those every night. And then it's layered screens from the point. So those have been the 3 highest events as far as goals for. And Like, look, you see Samsonov, and I sent you guys some notes on that. He couldn't move east to west, and that really killed you. I think it was 6 goals in total. Let me see here. 6 goals on 11 east to west plays. He had a 45% chance to make a save. You know, that's never, you can't win. You can't win like that.
Buddy, what an effort today on the real Kyper and Bourne show. It was like you just saw 50 shots in 60 minutes right now.
Hey, Kyper, do you think I'm coming on your show with a butter knife? Right?
A dagger, my friend. Thanks for doing this. Outstanding, Valley.
Thanks, Valley.
Oh, hey, wait. Before I go, I got one note because I heard Sammy talking about this. He was worried about the 2-on-1 conversion rate against the Leafs. Remember that show?
Yeah.
Maybe a week ago? All right. During the regular season, I think I know what Sammy saw. 20 times their opponent went across the ice east to west. The pass got through on the 2-on-1. 9 goals were scored. It was worse than the NHL.
Oh, cool.
But
That's
the
great.
15 goals against on the 2-on-1s, that ranked 10th. So it wasn't bad. It was just when you didn't protect your goalie on the pass, you got beat. But I guess that coincides with Sammy not being able to go east to west. All right, I'm out.
Steve Valiquette.
Thanks, Valley. Appreciate it.
All right, boys.